Hey my creators! Today I'm here with some cool creations for your dolls, which is this super cute tube top. I just finished it and oh my god, I love it. So I think this is a really easy craft. It took me only like 20 minutes to do. So yeah, I definitely hope you enjoy. Alright, bye. See you later. Hey guys, it's me, LA, and today I'm going to be doing a tutorial on how to make a super cute tube top for your Barbie doll or whatever type of doll you have. So today I'm going to be making it for this doll. I don't think she technically counts as a Barbie doll. I don't know. She's a Disney Princess Tiana doll, and I gave her a Ruru with this awesome rainbow hair. She's got like galaxy hair, and in the back it's super colorful. Right now she's just wearing a bodysuit just so I have a really form-fitting outfit for her. So this top is really cute with like some leggings or something, and it's a really good summer or winter project for your dolls if you add like a scarf and maybe some leg warmers. So yeah. Alright, let's get started with the supplies that you'll need, besides the doll of course. You'll need some scissors. You will also need a measuring tape, one that's flexible. Preferably, well, obviously it'd have to be one that's flexible because it have to fit around the form of the doll. You're going to need thread that matches the color of your fabric and also a sewing needle. And by the way, this tutorial is totally sewing machine free, so you can just hand stitch this if you don't have a sewing machine. I'm using this ruler to mark on my fabric, but you can use anything. You can actually use your measuring tape for this. And I have to get a pencil. I forgot again. But I'm going to use this paper to write down her measurements. So yeah, let's get started. So there are a few measurements you're going to need to take for your top to fit properly on your doll. So this really depends on the stretch of your fabric. So how you figure this out is you take a piece of your fabric. I'm just using the end of a sleeve that I'm going to be using. So it's 4 inches, around 4 inches. It's 4 inches. So I stretch it and see how far it can stretch. It can stretch all the way to 6 inches. It's a little bit tight, so I'm going to say it can stretch all the way to 5 inches, just so it's loose. So it can stretch 1 inch. That means the stretch percentage is 10%. So you're going to want to do that on your fabric, because if your fabric is extra stretchy, not really mine, but if your fabric is not so stretchy, then that's good to know. So your fabric can stretch 1 inch. So that means that there can be like, how do I explain this? So you can have 1 inch difference between your doll's hips and your doll's waist, and it'll stretch over it without having the stitches breaking. If that makes any sense at all. I don't know if it does. But today we're going to be making a 3-inch top. But it's going to be a tube top. So no seam, all the seams are going to be on the inside. So we are going to measure. So this is 4 inches. That's perfect. We can add about a 1/4 inch seam allowance. But before we cut out our fabric, let's take some measurements. So the doll's waist, I'm going to do this in inches, just because it's easier. So you could do this in centimeters, actually. That would be easier too. So her waist is 4 inches, just about. So I'm going to write that down. It's 4 inches. So I'm going to also take a measurement of her hips. This is going to have to slide over her hips. Her hips are 5.5. So write all of your doll's measurements down. 5.5. So that is an 1.5 inch difference. So we're going to make this top 5 inches wide plus seam allowance, so about a 1/4 inch seam allowance, and that's going to be your measurement. Well, of course not. If you have the same doll as mine, that's going to be your measurement. She's a Disney Tiana doll, but if you don't, then your measurements are going to vary. Real quick, I'm going to take her bust measurement, just to make, I think it's the same as her hip. Yes, it is. So yeah, it's all the same. So for me, my fabric is going to be 5 inches. So my fabric's going to have to stretch half an inch, which is really good. It'll fit loosely. It won't be super tight fitting on her. So now we're going to take our fabric. I've got some black fabric here, as you can see. I'm going to put my ruler. My ruler is 3 by 18 inches. And I'm going to use some chalk. This is one thing you might need. It depends on your fabric. If you're using a lighter fabric, and I mean lighter in tone, not in weight, then you can use a fabric marker. On mine, though, you can't really see the fabric marker. So, yeah. I'm going to add about a 1/4 inch seam allowance just for when we do our back stitch sewing. And again, this is totally sewing machine free. You do not need a sewing machine for this project. I'm going to be hand sewing it. It's nice just to do some hand sewing in a while. So I'm going to mark this out real quick and cut it out, and I'll show you how that looks. So, by the way, one second. So for me, the width of this is going to be 5 inches plus 1/4. So yeah, it will fit hopefully nicely on the waist. All right, I'm gonna cut that out real quick. I'll see you in a minute. Okay, so after you cut it out, it should look like this. And I want to mention that we're making a 3-inch top. So you can make this any length. You can even make this a dress for all you want. Like, you can make this as long as you want. So, however you want, double it. So I put the 3-inch side of my ruler on the fold, so that this, technically, if I unfolded it, is 6 inches and a half, because we added that 1/4 inch seam allowance for us to work with when we're hand stitching. So I recommend whatever side you put your chalk on be the wrong side. It doesn't show through. It's just always that off chance that it won't come off. Like, it's kind of risking it there. I mean, you could always wash it off. I would definitely recommend that. If you accidentally put it on the right side of your fabric, do your best to get it out, because it really just ruins the whole look of it. So now we're going to want to thread our needle with our black fabric. So, not with our black thread. This depends on what color fabric you're using. I'm using black because I have black fabric, so it'll blend in. Although I think I'm going to use white so you guys can see. I'm just sewing all these chalk lines though. So yeah, be right back. Alright guys, I'm back and I just threaded my needle with some black thread. And I tied, where's the knot? Oh, okay, here it is. I tied a knot at the bottom, so it's nice and secure and ready for sewing. So I'm going to be using a back stitch because of the stretch of the fabric. So yeah, I'm a little bit rusty on my back stitch, so I don't know how great I'll be at it, but I think I remember you just put your needle in like that, like you're about to do a running stitch, and the knot at the bottom, and then you just go back where you started, which in my case is the knot, and start again. Yeah, it's just basically going back and forth. So this is going to be the middle seam of our tube top, because basically what we're going to do is we're going to put it like this and then sew down the side. So I'm just going to do the back stitch. I'll put a tutorial that's actually good on the back stitch in the description down below if I could find one. But yeah, so I'm doing a hand sewing tutorial because when I first started sewing for my dolls, a lot of the videos I looked at had a sewing machine and not hand stitching, which was what I had on hand at the time, and it kind of agitated me. So I don't know if that's just me, but I decided to make some videos hand stitching. And also, I don't know if you read the description of my channel, you probably saw this, but I'm interested in Victorian / vintage sewing. So Victorian, like sewing in the 1800s, early 1900s, late 1700s, like time zones like that are really interesting to me because they had such practical outfits, yet so fashionable. And a lot of those projects involve a lot of hand sewing, so I have to get used to it eventually. So I'm just going to sew this up real quick, and I'll see you guys back when I'm done. So just sew down this whole raw edge. Not these yet, not like a pillow. Just sew down this whole raw edge. So yeah, I'll do that real quick, and I'll see you in a minute. Okay, so I just turned this right side out, and I forgot to film it. Okay, so I'm just gonna turn this. By the way, these back stitches pretty secure, I will say. Like, they're kind of gappy because I didn't do small ones like I probably should have, but it's kind of being a little bit lazy with it. But anyways, so after you sew down that seam, you should have something like this with a folded edge on one edge and a sewn edge at the other. So now I'm going to turn this right side out. So this is where the tube part comes in. This is the tube part. Right, I just said that twice. Okay. Anyways, so you're gonna put that seam in the center of your tube. And that's it. Well, that's not it. We have to sew the back seam, but it looks pretty good so far, huh? Because the front is nice and clean and cool looking. Okay, so now you want to take your doll. She's laying down the other way. By the way, her name's Jasmine. I just thought I'd mention that. I always loved that name. Okay, so I'm gonna put it right sides on her. So the wrong side is on the outside. The wrong side, by the way, is the part with the seam. So I'm going to do my best to match up those seams, even though they can't touch. But yeah, that's what that top looks like. I can't get her in frame. Okay, so it's a lot less bulky because she's wearing a suit right now, but it would be a lot more form-fitting if I took it off, which I will in a second. But also, I kind of like how the seam looks in the middle, but I don't know if I'll keep it that way. I think I'll just go with the original plan. And also, I'll mark this point first. So I'll mark it with some chalk, which is what I'm doing right now, actually. So I'll mark this with some chalk. And so this chalk is kind of messy, but you know what? It's all good. So once you have marked this is just my edge. Yours will probably be different depending on the doll. And I'm gonna also do a back stitch, or maybe a running stitch, but nah, I think I'll keep trying out that back stitch. And I'll do a back stitch all the way down this back seam, and I'll check back in with you guys once I do that. Hey guys, I'm back. So I will say, I just finished the tube top, and I will say I love the back stitch. It's pretty stretchy and it's still strong. Like, I don't think you can see the stitching. I did it smaller stitches on the back seam, which I recommend over the bigger stitches because the bigger stitches didn't stretch as much as the smaller ones. I thought it would be the other way around, but no, it's not actually. This is a super quick craft. It took me only like 20 minutes, I think. It was so quick. And so yeah, I hope you all enjoyed this video. It's super easy if you ever want to make a top for your dolls and you don't want to like spend forever. Definitely recommend a tube top, and I'll put a tutorial, if I can find one, on a backstitch in the description down below, since I know this wasn't a tutorial on it. It was really in detail since I didn't really know, but yeah, so it goes really great with some like leggings. She looks super cozy, like she's gonna sit next to the fire with her dog and read a book. So yeah. Alright, bye creators. I hope you all enjoyed. Happy creations, and don't forget to subscribe, and after you subscribe, click that bell so you get notifications, and like this video if you like it. Alright, bye. Peace.